This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com.
Hello everybody, it's your old pal Rob. Well, the other day we were playing Lost Patrol, an old specialty game from our good friends at Games Workshop. And with Warhammer Quest coming out this week, which we're all very excited about, I decided to rank as I was walking through here and going, oh, I got that, I got that, I got that, I got that. My top 20 specialist games of all time from one of the best companies in the world, Games Workshop. I mean, regardless of what you think, you know, they have their ups and downs. This is, when you look at this list, this is quite an impressive list. And it's not even counting Warhammer Fantasy or Warhammer 40K. So we're going to start at 20, work our way up to the top games of all time, specialist games of all time. Maybe you agree with me, maybe you don't, but that's what we have comments for. So I look forward to seeing what you think. And there's maybe some games that you never even heard of on this list. Well, here we go. At number 20 is a game that is one of my first experiences with a GW game, and that is Chainsaw Warrior. Absolutely brutal solo experience. If you get a chance, look it up on Wikipedia and see what a complete, just back in the day, early Games Workshop craziness, and that's the best way I can put it. At number 19 is a box game. They came out with these smaller games, box games, that they would release along with Rogue Trader and all that other stuff. And it was the Battle of Armageddon. It was a conquest type of game. It was a lot of fun. It was very, very different for the time. And it's just one of those games that I really enjoyed in my younger days, and I still have to this very day. At number 18, I've got actually 2 copies sitting over there. I have a spare one because I'm missing one piece in one, but I just refuse to get rid of either one of them. And that is Kings and Things, an adventure type conquest game, which was just tons of fun and you know, different for its time. A little bookcase game. It was almost like GW at that time really tried to do bookcase games in kind of the fashion of Avalon Hill back in the early days. At number 17 is a game I actually had and then got back when I went to BGG one time, and a guy goes, "Hey Rob, this might be something you'd be interested in." And of course I bought it. Curse of the Mummy. Actually, I still have it. It's a mint copy, and it's fantastic. A little race talisman type game where you're trying to get to the top of the pyramid and out and betray each other and do everything that you can possibly and wrong to each other on your way to quest for all the glory. At number 16 is an apocalyptic race game, and it's a lot of fun. You could do straightaways, curves, all kinds of things, but Dark Future was a game that you are just trying to shoot everybody up and get to the finish line before anybody else. And where there were some broken parts in it, it still, to me, was a lot of fun. At number 15, Chaos Marauder. Anytime you take orcs, put them in a game, it's complete madness. And this was one of the early games that really showcased how GW viewed orcs as just complete homicidal maniacs. Doesn't get much better than that, does it? At number 14 is a game that they redid, but they used it as a supplement for fantasies. And I couldn't understand it because the original game was a board game of conquest, and that is Mighty Empires. A really good, solid game. It had cool little pieces to it. There were chits involved. I mean, there was just all kinds of different things. And it was something that would take up an afternoon, and we would used to have so much fun with it that we absolutely loved playing it. And Mighty Empires for sure was good. I'm talking first edition, not the second edition they did. This game here is a family favorite. But for me, it's the original version that really sits home, the bookcase version. It's been redone, I think, 4 to 6 times somewhere in there, and that's Talisman. My family, every Thanksgiving and Christmas, will sit down and play Talisman for an entire day, and boy, does it burn me out. But still, to this day, just to see the smiles on their faces and how much fun they have with it, it's just a lot of fun, and it's a family favorite. At number 12 is Fury of Dracula. This is just a great game where you're trying to get Dracula before he gets you. I was never a fan of the old, rock, paper, scissors type of thing. It was something that just didn't do it for me. At number 11 is War Master. Now, this was a version that came after Epic 40K, which brought everything down. I think it was 10 millimeter. This was a lot of fun. It didn't get a lot of support. I think they could have done a lot with this, but they kind of gave up on it pretty quickly. And I just loved it because you were having these massive battles, and you can have it on a smaller table instead of taking your fantasy armies in 28 and just like taking up 3 days worth of game. You were able to do 3 days worth of game within a couple hours with War Master. At number 10, I mean, of course, has to be Epic 40K, which did the same thing, but only on a 40K scale. Now, this was a little different because it had Adeptus Titanicus, where you had the Gargants and the Titans, which was a separate game but can be combined with the Epic 40K, which I keep on going, oh man, when are they going to do that? I can't wait for that. That'd be kind of cool to bring that back, but they haven't. They brought the robots back, but they haven't brought the full game back. But I would love to see it come back for sure. And number 9 is a game that really sticks out for me, and that's Gorka Morka. When you take orc tribes and place them against each other, all for the cost of teeth, you're going to have bedlam, destruction, and mayhem. And that's what this game totally is. Complete madness at a wonderful, glorious level. And number 8 is a game that's very personal. I've told the story here on the channel, and that's Dungeon Quest. Dungeon Quest, the very first edition, it's an impossible game at times. You are a warrior trying to get as much treasure before the dragon wakes up and kills you. Or when the sun goes down, he wakes up. You want to be out of that dungeon. Not as easy as it sounds. Not as easy as it sounds. If you have a chance, give it a try. It's madness, especially solo. At number 7 is an old favorite. That punk, cyberpunk type of feel to this game. Necromunda, just complete getting your gangs together and just raising all kinds of madness. The original version is probably my favorite. The newer version, I've got to play more to really have a determination on it. It wouldn't be fair to judge it, but I'm going off the old version. I really love the old version. We had built a huge like hive for a store, and we used to play all the time up in Connecticut. It was one of our favorite games. Number 6 is a game that isn't the greatest game, but the models from the Dark Elves huge battleship to all the different monsters and things that you would do, and how we would have one person be the Empire, the others would be the Orcs, the Dwarves. Armada gives that same kind of feel, and that's Man o' War, a game that I absolutely love. You know, a lot of people are torn, you know, are on the fence on it. I always found it to be just a really fun naval game set in the Warhammer Fantasy universe, which is just fantastic. And you know the madness of that. At number 5 is Battle Fleet Gothic. Another game I wish they just kept doing stuff. I love the Necron fleets, the huge Chaos army and their marauders and things like that. The beauty of the battle fleet. A matter of fact, it's been turned into a video game, and it's very successful. I think the miniature game was just as glorious. I've heard some rumors, but I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to be wrong. That's for doggone sure. At number 4 is Mordheim. Mordheim, just another game in the same ilk of a Necromunda Gorkamork. You, of course, are looking for Warpstone. You have your gangs. You're going through towns. You're doing all kinds of different things. You're taking on the rats, the witch hunters, and all these wonderful things. And just a wonderful dark feel to it. And just trying to get your warband to survive is a miracle upon itself. At number 3, this is going to be some shock to some people, is Warhammer Quest. I had a bunch of them all together, because if you put Warhammer Quest on it, then unfortunately it's going to stick with it, and that includes Blackstone Fortress. I had to look to make sure I remember the name. Warhammer Quest, the original, and all the new ones. Now I can't really include Curse City because as of this video I haven't gotten mine, so I can't lump that in, but I'm going to lump in all the other ones and make this all one combined thing. Warhammer Quest has gone down a bit. Now, does Curse City bring it back up? Maybe this goes up a rung or two. Could be. Still a fantastic game. My heart is just stuck on the original, and I wish they went that way, but change happens to us all. We can't stop progress, but the original, that's why it's still at 3 and not lower. At number 2, it's one of the most biggest cult games out there. You are a coach, your team becomes personal to you, and that is Blood Bowl. Blood Bowl is the ultimate sports game. How your teams get better, your people die, and all the other horrible things that happen to them along the way. And this wonderful thing that you go through an entire season with is just glorious. And the game just holds up today. You haven't had to make too many changes to it, and the changes that they do make never really affect the true heart of what the game is. Just smashing people, trying to kill them, trying to get star player points and better up your team for the next game. Our number 1, well, I think you already know what it is. Space Hulk. The first edition was probably the best. The last edition was the best component produced. I would love to see more for this fantastic, wonderful game. It's something I always hold my heart on. that they just need to do more for Space Hulk. But the game still holds up. I pull it out a couple times a year and play it here on the channel because it's just a game that's fun. You can make up your own stuff, do your own things. There's so many things that you can do it, and the ease of play, how smart it plays, and I do like the timer. Put the pressure on the Marine player. Why not? Especially if you're a sick, sadistic person like myself that likes to play the Gene Stealers. Nothing better than claws on armor. So there you have it. My top 20 specialist games of all time from the fantastic and glorious Games Workshop. Do you agree? The dogs agree. I would love to hear what you have to say. Make sure you let us know in the comments and tell us what you think. Maybe you agree, maybe you disagree. I would love to see your list as well. Until next time, it's your old pal Rob. We'll see you soon.